Hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Can you hear? Hello, hello. Can you hear? Can you hear? Everything okay with the transmission? Let me know who are here. Where are you from? Where are you from? Let me know if you already play saxophone, if you have saxophone, what you can already do. So feel free to show here your presence. We have Carlston, that's correct? Carlston Ford. United Kingdom, nice. I'm also based in the UK. I'm originally from Brazil, but based in the UK also. So people are still arriving here. Let me know, guys, where you are from. Where you are from. Let me know you. That's a class to warm up, to get you ready for the masterclass of the 29th January. 29th January, I'm going to show the methodology I developed academically as a musician. Was very helpful for me to develop my career. If you don't know, I have 20 years performing internationally, performing festivals, pub, corporate events, private events, cruise ship, yacht, so that's my job. I'm traveling. I have been over 30 countries. So that methodology I developed was very helpful for me. And it was the projects I developed during my research and teacher career. So let me go ahead. I'm original from Barbados. So I have been there. Few weeks ago, I've been there in Barbados playing a yacht. It was nice. It's nice. So let me know who is arriving here. Let me know where you are from. Let me know, because we have just few people here. I almost sure all of you are playing saxophone, learning saxophone. So I'm here to support everyone on that warm-up class. So the topic of that class, warm-up class, remember that is a warm-up for the masterclass of the 29th January, where I'm going to show the methodology. So why that class? Because most of the people don't have talent enough. It's very common. Most of the people never start playing saxophone because they think they don't have talent. It's very common. So they postpone. So most of the students try to learn for the first time just when they are during their retirement. It's very common because they don't believe in the talent, etc. And then with the maturity, they start to they decided to start learning saxophone, and also they understand that music is much more than idols, that's life, that the industry convince you, and that's class especially about that. I'm going to show you what music really is, because music is often misunderstood. It's structural. It's not your problem. It's structural. We have the music industry and also the educational system. I'm going to explain here why it's built and why most of the people don't think have talent. Let's go ahead. What music actually is? Music is sound, the art of organizing sounds. So we balance tensions, meaning tension, the tension between the sounds. So first of all is it sound. We organize the sound in frequencies. For example, with scales, we have da, 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 da. For example, that sounds we call notes because notated. We can transform it in notes. So the build of the scales, the notes C, D, E. We have specific notes that represent one scale. So one scale has a specific characteristic, should be Iono scale or major scale, Dorian modes. We have infinity scales. So selection of notes that musicians use to compose, and that selection of notes has a specific characteristic. So music is it. Music is the art of organizing sounds before, after everything. So sound. Think about sound. For example, architecture. Architecture use rock to build, all the material, all the tools to build, houses, everything. Sound is the same, but we use sound. And sound now is we call notes, harmony. Everything is a way to organize everything and express our art. So first of all, is it music? Is it okay? Music industry is focused on consumption. For example, we have a specific style. For example, jazz. The moment was very important to develop one identity, especially American identity. In US was very helpful for the United States to build one, show the potential as cultural potential in the world using the music industry. So jazz was very famous. And then we had the rock and roll, very influenced. So people playing guitar for the first time in the history. We can play guitar. So the guitar, we can use guitar, electric guitar with PA system, electronic sound. It's very recent. It has 1 century. So for the first time, we changed big orchestra for just small groups. So they create rock and roll, and also identity with fashion, with character. One artist represents one style, something that people, influencing people to acting like them. It's the music industry. Today we have the rap. Tomorrow we will have something maybe connected with AI. People will make music with AI. So that is the music industry. So we create a style. The style hits the maximum can hit, and then decay, and people can create something, can vary, can use some characteristics of that styles, or can create something very new. So that's the industry. So people consume the songs, but not the music. They consume the industry. That's the issue that make you think, I don't have talent, because most of the people, trust me, most of the people that's in the top of the industry, maybe they don't have a lot of talent. They can use simple tools in the music, simple notes. They can represent that styles and stay there on top of the industry. So being musician is much more than that. For sure, you have to be a musician to understand how to use it, how to, for saxophone players also, and especially for saxophone player, we are here since the jazz. Saxophone, we are since the jazz. Saxophone can play rock and roll, can play jazz, can play pop, can play electronic songs. I perform a lot of electronic songs, house, a lot. I have a lot of requests, and there's something new for me. I just performing house in the last 10 years because I understand the music. I understand the style. I understand the logic. I know how music works. I can see music as expression, as a language. So let's go ahead now talking about traditional schools, because now is the problem. If you are already playing saxophone, if you have saxophone, I think most of you have already saxophone. That's the big issue, because when people play saxophone, they find some scales, some exercise to develop. That's okay. Because the traditional schools were built for orchestra, to develop the mentality of orchestral musician, to develop skills to perform songs, to read music, to read the notes, to read the music sheet, to perform, guided by a director, a music director, and with orchestra, play with another musician. For example, should it be saxophone, an type of tenor saxophone, saxophone 1, saxophone 2, the third, clarinet, flute, trombone. So the traditional music school were built to transform musician, but not artists, to transform performer to orchestra. So it's necessary to play, to read, to have a very good reader first side, and it reflects until now. If you start learning saxophone, most of the schools, most of the teacher, private lesson, etc., will give you scales, articulation exercise, maybe some songs. That's the big issue, because maybe you are playing songs but you don't know the rule behind the song. You don't know the symmetry. You can't analyze how phrases in music are built, how the melody are built, the harmonic function behind the melody. How can we build a melody? So we are reading a song composed by some artist, a specific style, but we are not understanding what is it. We are just reproducing, we are just copying. So in my methodology, it's the wrong way to learn, because we have to understand, first of all, the music. Because saxophone, when we decide to play saxophone, we decide to express ourselves in music. So the saxophone is an instrument, it's a musical instrument. So we have to learn music, understand what music is, and express ourselves through the instrument and the musical language. So it's very important to understand it first of all. Let me read here. I want to get into that type of playing. Yes, I'm self-taught. Yeah. So that's the perfect moment. That's the perfect. You have to understand the music. You have to understand, first of all, the music, what music is, because saxophone is a musical instrument. It's a way to express yourself in music. And as I told before, saxophone is an amazing instrument. Is still useful in jazz, rock and roll, pop songs, a lot of folk songs. You can find a lot of Central America songs, Latin America songs, a lot of so saxophone is an amazing instrument. We can play saxophone in almost all the style. So it's very, very nice. But first of all, we have to understand it. And that's issue here of the traditional music schools, because that's the main issue also. Okay, so what's missing? Musical thinking, as I already told it. So musical thinking, we have to understand what music is. When we are playing some specific songs, well-known songs, you have to understand the harmony behind the melody. We have to understand when the phrase starts, when finish. And for example, we have one phrase and then we have one variety. For example, let me sing. My saxophone is there because I don't need saxophone for that class. It's more musical, more about music. I want to make sure you understand what music is before the masterclass on 29th January. So, for example, Beatles, Lady B. Can you understand the melody, the symmetry behind that melody, the timing? So if you have a basic knowledge about music, you can see 4 beats and 4 beats for each bar. You can see we have 4 bars. So we have the half of the phrase here on the first 2 bars, and then we complete in the other 2 bars. So we have 4 bars for just one phrase, and then we have a variation. So that's it, what's missing. We are not analyzing the symmetry of the phrases of the songs. We are not able to understand the harmony. For example, when you are playing some specific notes in one of the bar, it's because it's following harmonic order, harmonic progression. I'm not going deep on it because I'm just to remember. I just make sure you're ready for the masterclass on 29th January. Okay, so that's it. What's missing? It's missing understanding the music. Understand for a lot of musicians, a lot of specialist saxophone player, because of the issue. The As I told you before, let me just come here. It's structural. It's a structural issue, not your fault. It's never your fault. It's structural. So think like a musician. So we have to make choices. We have to understand the sound. We have to understand why we are using just specific notes in one song, not the key, not just understand what's the key of that song. What's the mode of that song, not just it. We have to understand the functions. In each bar, we have to use specific notes. So it's missing. We have to be artists. You have to use your instrument to express yourself musically. So that's it. As I told before, instrument as a voice. Saxophone is a voice. You have to understand music and express your knowledge, express your voice through the saxophone. Okay, so your voice will come through the saxophone. Once you understand what music is, so you have to develop the skills, okay, scales, articulation. Then that kind of exercise will be very helpful for you, because we have to develop embouchure, we have to develop fingering, we have to develop everything. But before, if we are developing just scales, articulation, reading, everything is important. But most of the orchestral musicians don't know nothing about music. They are there just to play. I can confirm, because I started playing orchestra. I started my career playing orchestra. I played orchestra for over 6 years. I know a lot of musicians from orchestra that play in orchestra for many, many years, for decades, and don't know what music is exactly. What they can't express themselves. They can't improvise because they can't understand it. So I hope that introduction can help you. We have just few people watching here, so thanks for watching. That's the introduction, warm up, as I told you before, for the masterclass on 29th January. So let me know where you are from, if it makes sense for you. If it's just a short class for warm up, let me know your thoughts about that class. Ask me everything you want. I can stay here for just a few minutes more, answering some questions. Maybe you have some question. Ask me everything you want. And don't forget to join the free masterclass. Look forward to the class. Nice. I'm looking forward to see everyone there. I can share the full methodology. So I'm going to share the full methodology with you. Doesn't matter if you are starting now, especially if you are starting now. Knowing that process, that methodology can help most of you. It was very helpful for me, and I used to be oboe player in orchestra, so you can understand what I mean, right? In orchestra, we are trained to read the music. We have to practice articulation, scales, develop the embouchure, etc. But to understand the music, to express ourselves. So because of it, I developed that methodology. When we are improvising, we express ourselves through music. So that's the best way to learn an instrument, because learning an instrument is, we have to, it's like using our mouth, our lips, etc. We have to use the instrument to express ourselves. So that's it. So it's very important to know everything. So ask me everything you want. If you have some question, I can stay here for 1-2 minutes more if you have some question. Let me know if that class was helpful for you. It was just a warm-up class, nothing very deep, but For who is starting now, I'm sure that's very helpful, especially for who think don't have talent. No more question. That's okay. So that's it. I hope I hope you understood that the problem is not you. It is structural. So I can see a lot of people arriving just now. I just finished the class. That's a warm up class, guys. For who is arriving now, uh, just remember it was a warm up class for the master class on 29th January. 29th January, we have that class, that master class, where I'm going to show the methodology I developed, the full methodology. So let me write here marcelocuco.com cuco.com/masterclass. Maybe you are already registered there. That's it. Some question. Just 1 minute more. Some people arriving here later. That's it. So you can access, if you are on the group, on the WhatsApp group, you can access the link and re-watch the class. It will be here on YouTube for a short period, so you can review it. So everything clear? If you have some question, don't forget to write me. If you are on the WhatsApp group, you have my email. If you subscribe it through because you downloaded the ebook, or because you are hello the pelo how can I da Pelolek Guru. It's hard to pronounce your name. That's it. So thanks very much. Thanks for watching. Have a good evening. And I can't wait to see you on 29th January. Cheers. Thank you. Sorry, I'm late because I'm in Canada. Yes, it's different. Yes, Alex. Yes, Alex Emmanuel. That's it. If you are on the WhatsApp group, you can click on the link and watch again. It's just a warm-up class where I'm explaining the structural problem in music to make sure you are ready for the class on 29th January. So I explain on that warm-up class what music really is, because it's structural. You can see, you go to the group on if you are on WhatsApp group, you can click there and re-watch the class again. Okay, so hope it can be helpful. It's just a warm-up class, nothing very deep, nothing very technical, just to make sure you are ready. Okay, so thanks for coming, by the way. Thanks, everyone. If you have some question, any question? No? That's it. So thanks again. See you soon. And don't forget to register for the masterclass. Thank you. Cheers.